Come on, like it's the season of goodwill, and this guy is putting Santa with a sky and a chainsaw on the telly.
With Eclipse Dine-In Cinemas Bundoran. Now serving pizza, hot dogs, ice cream, and more. To your seat. Find out more at
Time to head to Bundoran to our man of the movies, Collie, with the latest from Eclipse Cinemas in Bundoran. How come I always get excited when you're coming on? Well, I've been perfectly normal all day.
I'd love to think it's because of my dulcet tones or my scintillating reviews, but I have a feeling it's just because it's getting closer to the weekend, Jamie. That could be a lot. Also, I think there's other people thinking that's because I'm going to wrap it on, and it's the 5 minutes a week that you get to do, not to be the one doing the talking, that I always get saying. But maybe this is the week I let you speak. Almost certainly not.
Never going to happen.
Yeah.
Tell me, would you call this a comedy? I presume this is a comedy.
I would call it a
First movie.
comedy drama. So this is Ella McCay. It's by James L. Brooks. A lot of people will know that name, and when the opening credits start, they will know the sting because it's the bit of music that is always at the end of The Simpsons. Because he's one of the producers of The Simpsons. He did the Mary Tyler Moore Show. He did Broadcast News. He did As Good as It Gets. Terms of Endearment. All of these films, he's back, and he's 85, same age as my dad. Happy birthday, Dad, from yesterday. And he's back in the cinema, and all his movies are comedies and dramas and a bit of romance too. Will we play the clip?
I'm about to add to your problems, Ella. Your father's here. Why?
We haven't seen each other in how long? You don't know either?
Eddie, you promised not to be yourself.
I'm a different person now. I met an incredible woman.
Oh!
No. The way I've never in my life felt this way about any other woman.
Jesus, Eddie!
Oh, I wasn't counting your mother. She's in a completely different category.
I love you.
Call me for anything. I like that. Woody Harrison. I'd watch anything he's in because he's just great, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's a star-studded cast. Actually, the main actress, Emma Mackey, might be the one you're least familiar with, but she's great as well. Jamie Lee Curtis, obviously stealing the show. Albert Brooks, speaking of broadcast news and movies like that, Lost in America. But so it's a stellar cast, stellar production. And you were saying to me off air, I did hear it's a wee bit all over the place. The reviews have been mixed, to say the least. And I read that this morning before I went in, Jamie. And maybe that's why I enjoyed myself so much for the 2 hours watching this, because it is a bit ridiculous. And the basic premise is this woman, she's happily married, but she's this mad family, and that she becomes the way the American system is, the governor gets a promotion. She's the lieutenant governor, so she becomes the governor at a very young age of 34. But it's easier to manage the state than it is to manage her family, right? So that's basically the thread of it, which kind of rings pretty true for most of us, doesn't it? And
it does indeed.
It is ridiculous. And I think if you're going in there imagining a gritty drama or even a gritty comedy about how hard it is, you will be disappointed. But if you're like me and you enjoy an over-the-top film about where the characters are kind of slightly caricatures, we all have a mad aunt like Jamie Lee Curtis, but maybe not as mad, and probably not as witty, probably a bit quite as mad but not quite as witty. All the characters, even Woody Harrelson, who is the dad who keeps on having affairs, still manages to be funny.
What about the wig? What about the wig?
Yeah, you have the wig. Oh, and there's a big discussion about is it a wig, is it plugs, whatever, is he dyed his hair? And everyone, there was a bit of rolling the eyes of going, well, that wouldn't happen. But that was only in between the loud laughs I guffawed in the cinema watching this on my own. It is genuinely really funny. It's one of those things you choose, go with it or don't go with it. And I went with it and really enjoyed it. And it's not broadcast news, and it's not As Good as It Gets, but it's in the same spirit, and it's the same sort of thing. And it's only because Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt's performance is so good with As Good as It Gets that if you stopped and thought about the story, you go, well, that's not going to happen. And people don't really talk like that. We said off air as well, one of my favorite shows of all time, The West Wing. People don't really talk like that. And this would be similar. But it's very enjoyable 2 hours. It won't be remembered as one of his great movies. But I'm telling you, anybody who's feeling a bit hurried, a bit stressed about Christmas shopping, etc., who stops off for 2 hours here, will really enjoy themselves if they want to. Just let
That was Marge, was it? At the beginning?
and the voice, the
Was,
main
it was.
character is Marge Simpson, and or narrator there is Marge Simpson's voice, and she's
Yeah.
not the main character at all. But there's a bit of the Simpsons in it. They're a dysfunctional family, but we love them, and there's that sort of thing. That in the Simpsons where you go, okay, it's a ridiculous scenario, but actually my family are a bit like that, or we've had that time where tragedy and comedy go well together. So this is it. And last week we were talking about a horseshoe, which is done amazingly well in the
Great.
cinema. And I was saying it's neither a comedy or drama because it's real life Irish style. And this is the way we do it. This is the American side. So it's quite sentimental and saccharine, but it's still true. All of us will watch it and go, yeah, my uncle's a bit like that too. To be honest with you.
Tell me, Horseshoe is doing the numbers.
It's doing the numbers. It was the biggest selling movie last week, aside from Zootropolis. And Zootropolis is doing amazing business. And here's the thing. 2 people wrote on Facebook that they didn't enjoy it. That is 2 out of 539. And it's probably
on your own.
And it's probably a lesson as well. Who are the 2 that speak up all the time? The people who don't like it. Whereas all the people who've loved it don't get it. So it's staying for another week. I was telling you last week, I had to rush to see it because it's only out for a week. It's done so well. It's staying around for at least another week. And isn't it brilliant to see local artists doing well?
Absolutely. Now, I mean, it's the season of goodwill and joy and all that, and you bring me Silent Night, Deadly Night, a slasher movie.
So there's
Santa's not bananas.
Look, I'm sorry, I have to pretend for the cinema, but there's loads of people like me who aren't big Christmas fans, right? And they will be rubbing their hands with glee, going, here's a movie about a guy, his parents were killed by somebody dressed as Santa, and he decides to get his revenge by dressing up as Santa and going after the people. So if Batman, if instead of the Joker killing them, it had been Santa, that's kind of the basic premise, and it's it's absolute nonsense. But here's the thing about it: it knows it's nonsense. It is absolutely winking at the camera, and it's enjoying all the phrases. If you've been naughty, or it says Santa loves his sleigh, but it's SLAY. Do you know what I mean?
All right,
They're
okay.
really enjoying themselves. This is your antidote for if you hate. We're showing Love Actually tonight, for example, Jamie. If you are the anti-Love Actually person, you're going to like this. It's nonsense, and you will not remember it next year. But there are people who love this sort of thing, and they're going to love this. It's nonsense. It's about 1 hour and 28 minutes, and there's blood everywhere. Great stuff.
All right, Corrine. And is this kind of a sequel of a sequel?
No, it was a
no?
1980s movie, which was particularly rubbish.
Yeah.
It was straight to video one. So this is actually better, but they liked the idea and they went back and made it, and it's just as silly but slightly better done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something serious. You're bringing back Mr. Monday. Great film, Springsteen, yeah, which I've thought about an awful lot since, because I remember at the time saying I really enjoyed it, and a lot of people really enjoyed it, but a couple of the big Springsteen fans, not so much, because it's not a story about all of Springsteen's life. You couldn't make all of Springsteen's life in one movie anyway. But really, the more I thought about it and read about it, probably it is a story about depression, which makes it sound like a depressing movie. It's actually the opposite. It's about hope, and how if this person who's so successful, so talented, had everything going for them, can have dark moments too, and how he works through it. It's hope for all of us, isn't it? It's hope for everyone who's doing it. And I think maybe that's why Bruce was keen that this part of a story gets told while Bruce is still going. Bruce is alive. I think he thinks the story of him and the E Street Band, the story of him meeting Patty, that can be told after he's long gone. That'll be the Hallmark movie version of his story. But what he's interested in, Bruce is always interested in showing that how the life of the common man, even though he was living an uncommon existence, he considered him as a common man, and how hope and help was always a Springsteen thing. And I think that's about it. And Jeremy Allen White's great in it, and the music is great in it. And I said to you at the time, my best review was, I got into the car afterwards and I put Nebraska on and I listened to it, and it's kind of been on the turntable since, metaphorically, because I stream like everyone else. But it's kind of been on the turntable. You've always been a Bruce fan, so it's slightly different for you. But I really enjoyed it. I got to put the vinyl back on and listen to it again.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be pure.
It's special, and a nice contrast to the other movies we have. It's very much the opposite of Ella McCay that way, where it's all silly. This is a very serious and very fun.
Okay. That's Collie and Movies. You're back next week. Yeah, we are.
We'll be back next week. Avatar next week. All the Blue Meanies are back.
Oh, here we go. That's Collie.